We're just going to go over some of the best stories of the offseason, and we've got a tremendous one to start the show. We're going to start with what happened yesterday. If you don't know this story, Jaden Rashada was a five-star quarterback at the beginning of the cycle, signed or committed to Miami, and then all of a sudden he flipped. And I know what you're thinking. He probably flipped because he wanted to go to Florida. He wanted to wear that blue and orange, and it definitely wasn't because they offered him $13.5 million. Everyone assumed there's no way that's real because no one else is doing that, and also that's fucking ridiculous. And then we find out not only was it real, but it was signed. It wasn't just a offer or a rumor. It was a deal that was written out in contract and signed. There's no part of anyone that should be upset with Rashada. Like, good for him. Go secure the bag. Make as much money as possible. And if somebody is willing to give you $13.5 million as an 18-year-old kid, yeah, cash in on that. Because usually that's only reserved for like Dominican shortstops and people in K-pop bands. I can't think of a purchase I've come close to that's as dumb as trying to sign the seventh best quarterback in a recruiting class for $13.5 million in not college football, not high school football, like the history of high school football, not any of that. Just the 2023 class, just the seventh best quarterback in this class. When is the last time you paid any amount of money for the seventh best of anything? Unless it was like a Southwest flight or a Baldwin Brothers movie. Like, you don't go out to a restaurant and you're like, you know what, sir, I think we're celebrating tonight. I'm going to do your seventh finest glass of champagne. How do you not have a pulse on anything going on at other programs? Because $13.5 million, again, is a lot of money. And so is the $3.5 million he was going to be making in his very first year, because the way the contract was set up was $500,000 signing bonus, $250,000 a month his freshman year. That's a bit more than the $60 my mom gave me every week. Now, here's a list of people, just random, that would have made less money than Jaden Rashada. $3.5 million per year would have been more than 71 FBS head coaches. It would have been more than Jalen Hurts, who only makes $1.5 million. It would have been $2 million than one of the starting quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. Also would have been $1.5 million more than both Flo from the Progressive commercials and Snooki. It's also more than 17 of the current 21 former Florida players in the NFL who have a contract signed with an NFL team. 17 of the 21 would have also been more than Kyle Trask's entire rookie contract, more than Tim Tebow made in his entire career. And last but not least, not just Tebow's career, but also Billy Mays from the OxyClean commercials. And if that's okay with you, then I'm not okay with that. That was my favorite story that I've seen so far this week. My least favorite was the thirst trap that Tom Brady threw out yesterday. We're going to post it here. I don't know what to say. He's a great looking guy that somehow gets better with age. So good for him. I just don't know whether you buy him that way or you accidentally make him that way. Nobody should ever be wearing brown underwear. Unless it's like a nude bra for a pregnant woman. What the fuck are we even doing out here, Tom? All right. Our audience question, our Twitter question of the day was from our good buddy Darnell Arford, who says, feels like there should be an L in your name. I feel like I said it wrong. Anyway, Darnell Arford says, between Dan Mullen and Jeremy Pruitt, who will be the first to land another head coaching job, and what is their path? Or do one or both not have a path? Now, I'm a big fan of Darnell. He left me a very nice message last week. I forgot to respond to that, but I will do it later. I will tell you right off the bat, I think that this is not you personally, because you are a very seemingly level-headed person. I think that Dan Mullen hate is so skewed specifically and only from Georgia fans because of how much Georgia and Florida hate each other, and also how badly Kirby beat Dan Mullen almost every single year he was there. Dan Mullen's a good football coach. He's not a great recruiter because he doesn't want to recruit. Does he look goofy as hell when he's wearing Jordans? And he's like a cooler version of Harbaugh. He's wearing Jordans and khakis, which, if you never want to have sex again, sure, definitely dress like that. I don't know. But that being said, he's a phenomenal offensive mind, and he's a great quarterback developer and developer of talent. The reason why he's a no-brainer in this one in terms of who is going to get a path to head coach again, one is because Pruitt is currently he's going to be on staff at Alabama, and he will be the defensive coordinator behind closed doors, regardless of what the title is. That being said, is that big of a struggle to hire him as a coordinator under Nick Saban in Alabama? I wonder who is going to jump at the chance to necessarily hire him, because you're going to have to do a lot of classes at the Nick Saban School for Second Chances. And the other part of it too is, Pruitt had 3 years where he was the head coach of Tennessee. I'm looking this up right now. He had 3 years where he was the head coach of Tennessee. It did not really go well. He had a career 16-19 record. Not a lot of big wins. They did have one ranked win, I think, against Auburn in his first year. But there aren't any real signature wins or improvement that you saw from year 1 through 3. You look at Dan Mullen, even when he was at Florida, he was at Florida for 4 years. He was at Florida for 4 years. He went to a New Year's Six bowl in 3 straight years while he was there. I talked about the success he had at Mississippi State. That's a program that's always kind of had a ceiling over its head. To be able to go to 3 straight New Year's Six bowls and then have the wheels fall off his last year, Dan Mullen is going to get another opportunity to coach if he wants it. I don't know if he wants to or not, but there is a path, and the path is just him walking down the path, because he's going to get a lot of opportunities. All right, that was it, guys. Thank God we didn't say Marler Minute, because this recording has taken 16 minutes. Now I got to go edit it. You guys have been great. I appreciate it. We'll do this again, I don't know, next time I get up early, and we will talk to you then. Thanks, guys.